Would you know how to sketch this algebraic fraction? Where would you start with a question like this? Like, what are the key points that are going to go on your diagram? As just thinking this through, you might think, okay, the first thing is going to be the axis intercepts. How do you find the axis intercepts in this case? So first, to find the x-axis intercept, that's going to be when y equals 0. So we set y equals 0, so we just get 0 is equal to 2x minus 1 over x plus 3. We can multiply both sides by x plus 3, and we just get 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. So 2x is equal to 1, so x would equal 1/2. So our first axis intercept is 1/2, 0. And what about the y-axis intercept? Well, that's when x is equal to 0. So when x equals 0, y is equal to minus 1 over 3. So our y-axis intercept is 0 minus 1/3. That's great, but what's the shape of this graph? So as we look at this, you may know that the denominator can never equal 0, because when we divide by 0, our function is undefined. So that means that x cannot equal 3. And now we're getting into the realm of our asymptotes. And these are the points that that graph can never touch. So we have one asymptote when x is equal to minus 3. So that's our vertical asymptote. What about a horizontal asymptote? You can always read off the horizontal asymptote for algebraic fractions like this by looking at the coefficient of the numerator divided by the coefficient of the denominator. So our horizontal asymptote in this case is y would equal 2 over 1, which is just equal to 2. And if you want to know why that works, you're going to have to follow, because I'll prove it in another reel. But for this case, we now need to sketch our graph using all of this information. And I'm going to write the key points up here so that we have space for that graph. Right. Awesome. So we've still got our key facts here. On our graph, we're going to add the asymptotes. We normally do this with a dotted line. So we've got x equals minus 3 and we've got y equals 2. We know that the axis intercepts are when x is equal to 1/2 and when y is equal to minus 1/3. And now we need to know the shape of the graph. Now you may know that this is quite similar to the graph of y equals 1 over x. However, we can also show that by considering what happens as x gets very big or when x gets very small. So we can see here, as x gets very big, the numerator of this, well, basically this minus 1 part and this plus 3 part, they're going to become insignificant. And the numerator is basically just going to be double the denominator. So as it gets very big, it gets very close to y equals 2. And note, the denominator is always going to be slightly more than half of the numerator. So we're coming up from this direction. And as the denominator gets very close to minus 3, the fraction is going to tend towards negative infinity. As the denominator, as x is slightly less than minus 3, the overall fraction is going to be very large, and it's going to come down from positive infinity towards the asymptote. So this is what our overall graph looks like. If you liked this and learned something, drop a follow.